What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the AL Central outlook and 5 targets, 5 needs for each of the AL Central teams. We're going to dive into that in this video, so make sure to subscribe if you're a baseball fan, because that is what this channel is all about. I think you'll enjoy coming back to the channel regularly for the content, and hit that like if you're a fan of the AL Central. If you just want baseball back, make sure to hit that like, Ballcap Nation. I appreciate you. And again, thank you for all the support that you guys have given. Anybody that is not a subscriber, might just be dipping in, dipping out, give it a chance. Hit that sub. Stay close. You can always unsub, right? You can always unsub. Anyway, thank you guys again for being in here. Everybody that is here with me live early, right from the start, I appreciate you for making a point to be here with the live stream early. Bryce, Maggie May, Alan, MLB fan, Kingara, thank you all again for not just being here, but commenting in the chat. Good morning, everybody. So let's talk about this thing. Let's get into this. Actually, real quick first, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to be doing the AL West version of this. We'll be taking a look at the 5 needs for all of the teams. And every 5 minutes, we're going to be doing a Christmas giveaway. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, you can still get something. We are going to have, we're going to have 10 giveaways. So every 5 minutes, we're going to be giving something away. So make sure you are here for Thursday's live stream, 11 in the East, 8 in the West, in the morning, as we do our holiday celebration. And I give back to you guys. Again, you have been so supportive of the channel this year that I want to give you guys something back. So I appreciate it. Let's dive into this thing. There's no point in delaying this. So let's get into the Central. Again, some ground rules. These are not necessarily the players that I think they're going to get. These are not the 5 players that they're going to get. Please do not mistake that for that, because you're going to see players appear for different teams, the same player for different teams. And we're going to have sometimes, you'll see, 2 or 3 at the same position. I'm not saying that they should get all those players. I just want to make that clear, because there can be some confusion sometimes on here. And I want to try to eliminate that confusion. And again, we thank FanDuel for being a sponsor. If you want to dive into FanDuel for the first time, there is a link in the description to do that. So let's get into the AL Central. Let's start this thing off. Let me get everything up here, move a couple things around. Let's get into the Central so that I can see everything. Here we go. We're going to start with the Kansas City Royals. Look, they made their moves last offseason. They tried to go for it, if you will. The Benintendi trade. They brought in Santana the year before that. They've got some young pitching, but where does the team look right now? Coming out of a 74-88 record that was 4th in the AL Central. Singer, Keller, Minor, Bubic or Lynch, Hernandez, Kowar. They've got a lot of options there for the rotation. They're all young. There's no veteran presence there. Mike Minor is just, let me correct myself there. Mike Minor is the veteran presence, but outside of that, it is young. It is first year, second year guys. I think Keller might be entering his 3rd year, but for the most part, this is a young group that should be going places. All right, that's what you're going to be hoping for if you're a Kansas City fan. The closer, Stalmont, the lineup, Perez, unbelievable season last year, amazing. Did not make much of a difference in terms of Kansas City's performance as a team, unfortunately. Santana started out hot last year, ultimately had a down year. Whit Merrifield, I'm a big Whit Merrifield guy. I think he's one of the best, most underrated players in baseball. Then you've got Lopez, Mondesi, Benintendi, Taylor, outfield, Dozier or Isbell. Which way do you want to go there? I think Isbell has higher upside. And then for DH, you could have O'Hearn or Dozier DH. So there is your look at the Royals. Let's take a look at what they could be wise to go out and target. Now, I think this team still wants to compete. I still think this team wants to try to win. So I think that there's a trade that could happen and could instantly put them in a spot where people start thinking, hey, maybe the Royals, why not Sonny Gray? Why not go and trade for Sonny Gray? Not going to be an expensive, hefty contract situation. Relatively a team-friendly contract. We talk about that rotation being relatively inexperienced outside of Mike Minor? Everybody else is in their first couple of years. They're all pre-arbitration guys outside of Minor. So why not go and get some experience? And you put Sonny Gray at the top of that rotation, Kansas City starts to look interesting. So I think Sonny Gray is an interesting play. I also feel like this man is going to try to make a comeback. And when we look at the DH for the Royals, O'Hearn, Dozier, there's nothing that really excites you there. So why not give Edwin Encarnacion a spot? I like Encarnacion or somebody of that like to be competing for the DH spot with the Kansas City Royals. So give me Edwin to be a target for the Kansas City Royals. They also need some bullpen. Looking at the bullpen, I know we don't deep dive into it on the team slide, but they do need some bullpen help. I think they have maybe one lefty. So go get a lefty. You got Sean Doolittle out there. I don't think they go and spend big to get one of the better lefties that are available on the market, but I do think it would be wise to get a lefty that has some upside, that if he performs well, you could go and deal him for some chips at the trade deadline. Again, more bullpen help is needed, so go get Tyler Clippard. Continuing on with the Doolittle conversation, but that both sides, lefties and righties, they need both moving forward. Kansas City does. And again, looking back at the team, I feel like they could use. Listen, there isn't much after that. When you look at that lineup, there is not much after that. That's pretty much everybody. So they need some depth. They need some more there. Jonathan Villar feels like a fit to me here. I feel like Jonathan Villar could slide in there, play a lot of different positions, give you depth pretty much everywhere. A good bat, probably ends up, just like he did with the Mets, getting more run than you think at the time of the signing. But I like Villar here for Kansas City. Listen, these are not going to be big financial moves. They're not in a place to do that right now, but they would be smart, savvy moves. The pop that Edwin could give you, Sonny Gray would give you a stabilizing piece at the top of that rotation. The bullpen would shake out, start to look good with Doolittle and Clippard. Again, not big-time money guys. These are one-year guys. These are affordable options that if they're pitching well, you could deal them at the deadline as other teams, if the Royals are not going to have a chance at the playoffs, when the other teams are trying to make a move to get into the playoffs and they need arms, when there's an arms race, you could deal those two if they're pitching well. So we look at Kansas City. Now let's move on to the Minnesota Twins. What a disappointing season last year. 73-89 for the Twins. Last place the previous season. A great year for the Twins. And well, I mean, listen, it was the pandemic shortened season. So I mean, is this more indicative of who they really are? We'll find out in 2022 as we see how they do. But 73-89 last year. The rotation gives me some worry. The rotation gives me worry. Maeda, I like. But Bundy is a big question mark. I don't like putting him at number 2, but who else are we going to put at the number 2? Dobnak, Ober, Ryan? It is not. Ryan might have a good future, but I don't really like this rotation at all. How are they going to compete? The Twins need to do something with their rotation. I think Twins fans would agree with me wholeheartedly there. The Twins should get in on some pieces for their rotation. The Rogers, the closer situation is in good shape. I like Rogers. The lineup isn't that bad. Garver and Jeffers to catch. I really like Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver's great. Miguel Sano, okay, you get the pop, but there's some holes in that swing. Polanco's good. Gordon, the young shortstop, made his debut last year. He's the future there at shortstop. Let's see what he does. Donaldson at third, you'd like that. The outfield that's a good outfield. Kirilloff, Buxton, and Kepler, and also Larnach is in there. They're in a similar situation to the Blue Jays where they have 4 outfielders. One of them has to DH. The Twins are in a similar situation there. So Jays fans, you can relate to the Twins situation with that outfield. The outfield's not bad. Kirilloff, Buxton, Kepler, I like that, and then Larnach. So there is your lineup for the Twins, the rotation, the closer, the situation. What do the Twins need to go out? What should be the priority? Well, we talked about it. That rotation needs help. So get in on the Carlos Rodon sweepstakes. Don't mess around, Twins. You really want to make a go at it? Carlos Rodon needs to be on the list. If they don't want to go and spend the big money that Carlos Rodon might command, then go and trade and get in the mix for Frankie Montas. These are guys that this has to happen. This has to happen. If you're a Twins fan and you're watching this, you got to agree with me. Whether these are the moves you want or you want something else, the rotation needs to be addressed. After trading Barrios away, they have nothing to replace him with. They have to, and Gibson. No, Gibson was with Rangers. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Gibson with the Twins a couple years back. But you traded away Barrios. You let Gibson walk a couple years ago. You can't keep having these departures from the rotation and expect to compete. So go get Rodon. Go get Montas via trade. What's up, Alicia? How are you? Gavin, Mike, Kung Fury, Lionheart, everybody that's here. Thank you again. All of those with me live. Let's keep going. So the rotation is an issue. That needs to be addressed. And I also think, yes, we talk about they have a 4-man outfield. They don't necessarily need to devote the DH spot to a Trevor Larnach yet. Go get Nelson Cruz back. Get that pop back. Bring Nelson Cruz back on a 1-year deal. Larnach, give him time to develop. Have him play all 3 outfield positions. Have him develop. Give him another year. And go get Nelson Cruz. If you want to try to compete to win the Central, you're going to need the upgrade there in the lineup with Nelson Cruz. Go get Nelson Cruz back. That should be a need. That should be a target. The bullpen, most of these teams need to focus on the bullpen. I think this is a landing spot for Shafin. This is a spot for one of the better relief pitchers that are still on the market. The Twins need a lefty arm in that bullpen. So we go here for a lefty arm. And then they also could use some more bullpen help. And we go with Adam Ottavino. I like the Twins to improve the bullpen, to improve the rotation. All of it is an issue. Right now, Rogers is your closer. There's your one lefty. And then that's it. They don't have any left. They have Thielbar. So you got Thielbar. You need the other lefty. And I think you need a good one. And then you got Duffy that you trust. Do you trust anybody else? So go get Ottavino. The Twins need to make those improvements with the bullpen. What's up, Robert? Hayden, good to see you. Harley, how you doing? Let's keep moving and let's get to the Guardians. The Guardians of the traffic jam. The Cleveland Guardians, 80 and 82 last year. The rotation took a hit when Bieber went down, but when everyone's healthy, this is an okay rotation. A couple guys that need to take a step forward. McKenzie needs to take a step forward. Last year, kind of a rough go for McKenzie, but Bieber, Savali, Plesac, McKenzie, Quantrill, Allen is the one of the younger pitchers. I don't know if he's really got it, so he might be in the bullpen. But you've got a rotation that gives you a lot of hope, right? Bieber is a Cy Young candidate when he's out there. Clase is a fireball and closer. I like Emmanuel Clase. I think they've got something there with him. The lineup leaves something to be needed here. Listen, Hedges is a good catcher. Bobby Bradley, we don't know yet. Jimenez, maybe. Rosario, he's a good player, right? I mean, he's a good player. J-Ram is a beast. The outfield is suspect. Mercado, Straw, Naylor. You got Reyes. There are too many holes here for the Guardians, in my opinion. The lineup has too many holes. Bobby Bradley could hit 150 and lose the gig by May. You could realize that you don't have a whole lot with Jimenez. Listen, there's too many question marks here. So there needs to definitely be some improvement with this Cleveland team. So let's take a look. Where should they be focusing? What should the needs be? I think they definitely need to make some moves for the bullpen. And I think this is a nice landing spot for Chasen Shreve. I like the idea of him going in there. The Cleveland bullpen right now sits with I mean, somebody named Sam Hentges. I probably should know his name. Big dude, 6'6", 245, and Anthony Gose. Those are your two lefties listed on the depth chart for Cleveland right now. So go get a good lefty. Chasen Shrevey was good last year for Pittsburgh. Go make that happen. So improve the bullpen. Let's start there, Cleveland. Get that bullpen right. Also, again, we talk about they outside of the lefties, we talked about the lack of the lefty situation. You've got Clase and then a lot of question marks. Don't know how much you trust a lot of these guys. Karinchak you trust, that's good. But just bolster the bullpen, beef up the bullpen if you're Cleveland. Go get Richard Rodriguez or a player of the like. Again, sometimes when I give these needs, when I give these players these targets, it's sort of scratching the surface of where they need to go. So maybe it's not specifically Richard Rodriguez, but they need a right-handed arm with the upside similar to what Rodriguez could give you. Next up, we talk about that outfield is kind of an issue. Listen, Cleveland at the end of the day is not going to be in any mode to spend a lot of money on a free agent. I think we can all agree on that. So they got to try to find ways to improve the team without spending a lot of money. They're looking for one-year deal guys, maybe two-year deal guys, $10 million a year guys. That's where you're going to be shopping if you're Cleveland, and I think Tommy Pham fits. They need to do something with that outfield. I don't like that outfield. Mercado, the time I think might have come and gone for him. Straw is okay. Naylor, okay. Listen, do any of them get you excited? I don't think so. Is Tommy Pham going to get you that excited? Probably not. But Tommy Pham would be an upgrade for Cleveland. So somebody of that like for Pham, for Cleveland. This next move, sneaky good move. Brad Miller. Brad Miller had a good year last year for Phillies. 20 home runs. Just a good baseball player. You could use the versatility. If Bobby Bradley does work out, then you can play Miller in other spots. But if Bobby Bradley does not work out, Miller is your first baseman. So I like the idea of Miller being a target. Not going to cost a lot of money. Not going to be a 5-year deal kind of a thing. Again, fitting the mold for Cleveland. And then the final piece, Blue Jay fans, you might not like this, but listen, if the Blue Jays are going to get serious about a trade for Jose Ramirez, this needs to be the top player on that target list for Cleveland if they are going to be dealing Jose Ramirez. This is not just Jose Ramirez for Lourdes Gurriel Jr., but this needs to be a piece that is included in that trade if you're Cleveland. Hang up the phone if the Blue Jays do not have Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I know I've put out videos of the Blue Jays giving up Grichuk for him. I know that. That's me being a Blue Jays fan, quite frankly. That's what I would like to see happen. But if you're Cleveland, you do not do that trade if Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is not included. You have to have him. You have to have two other top 10 prospects. You're going to want to get Alejandro Kirk in that deal. But Gurriel has to be the prime piece in that trade. Ready to go talent. Proven talent, a good player, could go out there and help your team win. And quite frankly, when we look at the lineup, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in this lineup, if J-Ram is not there anymore, Gurriel is your number 3 hitter. So right in the heart of that lineup would be Lourdes Gurriel Jr. if Cleveland makes that trade and gets Gurriel. That needs to be the primary focus if you're Cleveland and you're trading J-Ram, getting Gurriel as a piece of that deal. Next up, let's go to the Tigers. All right, this team looking to take a big step forward in 2022. Things are starting to come together. And listen, this is the lineup. We're not even talking about Green or Torkelson, who will probably see time in 2022. But on opening day, this is what it's looking like. Rodriguez, the new acquisition. Casey Mize took a step last year. Looks like he's going to fall into where his projection had him as a potential big leaguer. Turnbull was good. Skubal is... Listen, if Skubal is your number 4, you're in good shape. And Manning is the guy that made his debut last year. Some of those young arms are falling into place with Mize, Skubal, and Manning. Soto is the closer. You could certainly go and get another piece. We're going to talk about that. But I think that you have a good thing going there. Again, we are going to talk about it. We are going to add another righty that could be an end game pitcher. But I like Soto in there. The lineup, they traded for Barnhart and they got Haas. Scope will be at first. Castro at second. Baez, one of the Castros. They've got a couple Castros there. Baez at short, Candelario at third, Baddoo, Hill, Grossman. We might need to do something for that outfield. I don't know if I like that outfield. And then Miguel Cabrera is your designated hitter. So, what do the Tigers need to do? Based on this, where do we look at some improvement? Again, I think we need to get another back-end arm just in case. I think we need to get, again, something for that outfield. I don't like Hill out there. If you want to try to win the Central next year, maybe we need to do something else. So let's get it here for the Tigers. And right off the bat, number one, and he's been talked about being traded, Kevin Kiermaier. Make that trade happen. Make the trade happen. The Tigers are not going to be in a position to spend a lot of money now. They have spent a lot of money on Rodriguez and Baez. Go get Kiermaier. It is going to be, for the most part, a team-friendly deal, and he shores up that center field spot. Good defensive player. The postseason experience could be huge if this team is able to take the step and become a playoff team in 2022. Having his leadership, his experience in the playoffs would be priceless. So go get that done. And I also think that a gritty utility, I don't call him utility, but a guy that can play multiple positions, can fit in there. I don't know if either the Castros is going to work out there at second base. You might have an issue where Baddoo doesn't work in the outfield. So I think you need somebody that can play the middle infield, that can play the outfield, is a good player, a good teammate guy. I like Josh Harrison. I think Josh Harrison is a great fit for the Tigers. Not going to cost a lot of money. Again, we're shopping at the bargain end of the bin here for the Tigers when we're looking at Harrison. So give me Harrison and Kiermaier as two focuses for the Tigers. Bullpen is something that they need to address as well. Again, Soto is good, but the bullpen as it stands right now, I mean, Michael Fulmer could give you something. Funkhauser, okay. Jimenez. Here's the problem. Soto's a lefty, and that's it. You need another lefty pitcher. Miguel Del Pozo is on the depth chart as a lefty pitcher. Let's get some experience. Let's get an experienced lefty. But again, we're not going to be shopping at the expensive end of the lefty arm bin. Let's go get Diekman. I think you can get Diekman for a fair value this offseason. So get Diekman. You need a lefty arm, and whether it's Diekman or whether it's Doolittle or whether it's Miller. Listen, we're scratching the surface. We're starting the conversation. The Tigers need to address. They need the lefty arm out of the bullpen. Next up, I talk about how I want somebody else for an option for the back of that bullpen outside of Soto. This is a team, we talked about it yesterday, where the Rays, was it the Rays? It wasn't the Rays. I can't remember who it was in the AL East. We had some teams can take a chance on Trevor Rosenthal. Some can, some cannot. Detroit feels like a team that could take a chance on Trevor Rosenthal. So give me Rosenthal as an addition to the Tigers bullpen. And at that point, with those two additions, with who they've got, the Tigers bullpen would be complete when they get another lefty. And I want Tony Watson there. Tony Watson as the target for the other lefty. That completes the rotation. You get your two lefties that have experience. They've pitched well in their careers. Go get the lefties. Get it done. Diekman, Watson, I like that. Two lefties to fill out the bullpen, because right now, after Soto, there's nobody there that you can trust coming out of the pen. Let's go to the White Sox are next. 93-69 last year. Central champs. Rodon is gone. But everyone else, it's pretty much back. Kyle Hendricks, the closer. Giolito, Lynn, Cease, Keuchel, Lopez right now fits into that number 5 spot. Do they give the opportunity to Kopech? Do they give that opportunity to the lefty there? I'm blanking on his name. I rarely blank on a name. But there's a couple other options there for the number 5 spot. Do they go with Lopez, or do they go with one of those other players like Kopech or Crochet? Crochet is the name that was escaping me. So that could be the 5 spot, or it could be Lopez. The lineup: Grandal, Abreu, Garcia is who they went out and signed. 3-year deal to Garcia to be the second baseman. Plus Anderson, Moncada, fill out the left side of the infield. Then Jimenez, Luis Robert, Andrew Vaughn in the outfield. And Sheets is your DH. I know White Sox fans want the team to make a splash. They want the team to do something big. I don't know if they're going to do anything big because the rotation kind of, they could work with that. If Keuchel's your number 4, and then for number 5, you got 3 guys that you could rotate in. 2 of them younger guys that maybe you want to see if they've got it. And maybe they have the time to do that with, again, with Crochet or with Kopech. I would lean Crochet. Kopech, in my opinion, with the injury history, might be best to just keep him in the bullpen for now. And the lineup, Leury Garcia does not excite you one bit. If you're a White Sox fan there looking at your second base spot, Sheets came on. He was good last year after being called up, so maybe there's something there with Sheets. Let's see. But that's the thing. With Vaughn and Sheets, I think you want to see. I think you almost have the ability to let's see what we got with these guys. So if we're making moves, we're going to be making moves to improve the team, to give depth to the team. Now, if you don't like Lopez, if you feel like the best thing to do for the White Sox is to keep Crochet and Kopech in that bullpen because those are 2 of the stronger pieces out of the bullpen, then you're going to have to address some pitching for that number 5 spot because I don't trust Lopez. How about Zach Greinke? The same reason Zach Greinke would go to the Braves is the same reason he would go to the White Sox. I feel like Greinke could be a Braves fit too. You've got a guy who will eat innings during the regular season and will be perfectly fine going into a bullpen role when you make the playoffs. That's Zach Greinke. It's not going to cost a lot of money. It's a 1-year deal. You know you're going to get some good innings out of him. He's been relatively healthy the last few years. So Zach Greinke feels like he could be a target for that back end of the rotation. And if you don't go Greinke, if you want a little bit more upside, then you can go Kwang Hyun Kim. Again, back of the rotation guy, some upside there. But I think that you could look there. You could go with the lefty, you could go with the righty for the back of the rotation. Now, let's say the White Sox don't do that at all. They are going to go with Lopez, or they're going to give a shot to Crochet or Kopech or whatever. So now you need to, and I think they need to regardless, definitely make a bullpen move. This feels like a spot for Colin McHugh. Colin McHugh, one of the best relief pitchers on the market, period, had a great year last year. Would really go in there and stabilize that White Sox bullpen. We saw it in the World Series. We saw it in the playoffs. It was on full display how important it is to have your bullpen on point. So I like the idea of the White Sox just strengthening that bullpen. They listen, AL Central, yeah, that is something they expect to win next year. Their goal is going to be to win the World Series, so they need the bullpen to do it, and Colin McHugh could be a nice piece. Again, the lineup, it's pretty much, listen, White Sox fans, I don't think you want to hear this, but you look in the mirror. It's pretty much set. There is no Trevor Story coming here. There is no Nick Castellanos coming here. I don't see it happening. I would be surprised if you can get them, then all the more power to you. You might disagree with me. If you disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. Just don't be an ass about it. I think you go and get some pieces here to add some depth. And I don't like Leury Garcia for you guys either. I like Donovan Solano. Donovan Solano, 3 years with the Giants, was a .300 hitter. He's a good player. And if you have him and Garcia sort of platooning for that second base role, I think you'd be in good shape. Play the matchups. And Solano can play multiple positions at the infield. I'm a Donovan Solano guy. I think the White Sox, if they're looking for some value plays to improve the team, Donovan Solano is a great match. And then again, along the same lines as Solano, if you're looking for a little bit more versatility, maybe a little more speed, maybe a little more pop, you go Jonathan VR. Jonathan VR had a nice year for the Mets last year. Can play third, can play second, can play short. You can probably throw him into left field. You can put Jonathan VR in a lot of spots. He's a glue guy. All right, these guys, VR, Solano, they're glue guys, and you need a good amount of glue guys to get through the postseason, to get through the, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, to get through the regular season and then get through the postseason. You need glue guys, and I think VR and Solano fit the bill there. So if you have a situation where Tim Anderson gets hurt, you can feel comfortable with who you have backing up. If Anderson's out for a couple weeks, you can get by with VR for a few weeks. Or if Moncada gets hurt. I mean, listen, VR was huge for the Mets last year. He could come up big for the White Sox. So these are, again, let me remind everybody, this is not who the White Sox are going to get. It's not who the Tigers are going to get. It's not who the Guardians are going to get. These are not my 5 predictions, the 5 players that these teams are going to get. These are the needs and the targets that the teams need to be pursuing. Elliot, thank you for subscribing. Elliot Seckman, welcome to Ballcap Nation. Finally got the alerts fixed. So thank you for that, Elliot. But these are the players that the teams should be targeting. And again, in some instances, it's just scratching the surface, okay? Some instances, the VR thing, the Solano thing, even the Kim thing, we're just scratching the surface of they need to go and get that kind of a player for that spot is the thought process. So let's recap again. Let's do a quick recap of who we have as the targets, as the needs for each of these teams. We'll start. Let's go to Kansas City. The 5 we had for Kansas City were Sonny Gray, Edwin Encarnacion, Sean Doolittle, Tyler Clippard, and Jonathan VR. For the Twins, we had Rodon and Montas because the Twins really need to do something for that rotation in a bad way. Not necessarily both, but at least one player of that caliber. Then Cruz, Chafin, and Ottavino. The Guardians, we need to get for Cleveland, Shreve. Chafin and Shreve are confusing the life out of me. Chase and Shreve, Rodriguez, Pham, Miller, and Gurriel. Again, Cleveland's in a situation where they cannot spend. They're not going to spend a ton of money, so they need to be thrifty. And again, the Gurriel thing is if the J-Ram trade goes down, that needs to be their number 1 target in that trade. And the Tigers, go trade for Kevin Kiermaier. So I like Kiermaier. The utility of Josh Harrison, being able to play him in the outfield if they don't get Kiermaier in, Hill stinks. Or if you have an issue with one of the Castros at second base, you have Harrison. The lefty arm, they need a lefty arm. So I got 2 of them here, Diekman and Watson. And then I think they could take a shot with Rosenthal. And then we had the White Sox again with Greinke, Kim, the back-end rotation guy that could switch to a bullpen role during the playoffs, a bullpen improvement with McHugh, and then a player like Solano, a player like Jonathan VR for the Chicago White Sox. So there is our look. There is our look at the American League Central. The teams, taking a look at each team, taking a look at what they need, what the targets should be. For everybody that is watching the replay, this is where we will part. For everybody that is live with me, we will continue the conversation. But for those who are watching the replay, I really appreciate you finding the channel and spending some time watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you have made it to the end of the replay. And hit that like again. Hit that like if you are a fan of an AL Central team. And if you're not, if you just like baseball and you want baseball back, hit that like. Make sure to do that. I heard a rumor that if you don't hit the like, then you, I hate to say it, naughty list. Santa's putting you on the naughty list if you don't hit the like, so make sure to hit that like. Also, I want to give a special thank you to FanDuel. Again, in the description, there is a link for you to sign up for FanDuel Fantasy Football. The season-long stuff, you're in the postseason now, you're in the playoffs. If you didn't make it, you can keep on playing with FanDuel. You get the payouts right away. That's one of my favorite pieces of it. And if you are in the playoffs, if you did make the playoffs, look, power through. Take the best players from your season-long playoff team and insert them into a FanDuel lineup. Take a chance with it. The link is below. And also, This week, $25 deposit. You get a free entry for an NBA or NFL on Christmas contest. That is from the 20th to the 25th. And then there is the 7 days of gifts, 7 days of free contests on NBA and NFL from the 21st to the 27th. So make sure to check that out. And again, thank you to FanDuel for being a part of Ball Cap Sports. Thank you, everybody, again, watching the replay. If you're live, again, hang tight. I will add some links to some of the other content for the postseason that we have done here now for you to check out. Again, I appreciate you finding the channel, and thank you for watching the video.